Welcome, everyone. This is Hard Truth Hoops brought to you by the Unapologetic Sports Network. Here, we put IQ at the forefront of all conversations. If you're a high IQ person, this is the show for you. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Michavan. Michavan, how you doing today, man?
Man, doing good, feeling good. How about you?
Man, I can't complain, man. Before we get too much into the topic of the show, I wanted to start the conversation about something that's going on recently in the NBA. Just the other morning, I woke up, went on Instagram, seen the NBA posted. Victor Wembanyama is now at the top of the MVP ladder. Now that's just on NBA.com. That doesn't mean all the voters are saying they're going to vote for Wemby. Um, but I'm not, I'm sure you've seen Wemby just last week. I don't know what the question was. I didn't do my due diligence and look it up. But he was asked a question basically about, hey, you're one of the MVP candidates. How do you feel about yourself in the race? And he basically said, I'm him. Basically, like all the other candidates, you know what I'm saying? They don't play defense like me. Defense is half the game, right? I'm the most impactful defender, right? And he kind of threw some shots at SGA, saying, hey, we beat them 3 to 4 times we played them. I mean, me personally, I got a little bit of feelings about it, but I want to know, how do you feel about it?
Um, yeah, no, I don't think that's the answer. I don't think that's the way. I feel differently. There, I understand it with Wimby, but I would say more of the fact like because of what I think about where San Antonio is about to be, I think that's actually you may see that a better trend coming this next week.
Mhm.
Because I think San Antonio will be grabbing that one seed um, from
I mean,
OKC.
they just tonight they just clinched the. Let me see. I just got the notification. They just clinched the 2 seed for sure. So they're not dropping below,
Right.
and they're like right behind OKC. They right on their bumper.
It's a two game difference at this point, and
Right.
OKC actually has the toughest remaining schedule in
Hmm.
the NBA. So um, so yeah, I think San Antonio will grab that one seed, and I think that's only going to help Wemby's MVP case. Although I do not think Wemby should win MVP. Uh.
And so just looking at it, the Spurs on the 8 game winning streak,
Mm-hmm.
right? They won 9 of their last 10. Now OKC lost to Boston a few nights ago, and
Yep.
then but they're also 9 of their last 10 because they were on the win streak before that. So, I mean, OKC still hooping, right? But we've seen OKC can be got, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, you know, at the beginning of the year they were looking like no one's gonna get them, and then the Spurs said, "Hold my beer, I got this." Not only whooped them once, whooped them twice, three
Mm-hmm.
times. You know what I'm saying? In like a week and a half span, they, what I'm saying, were giving them a belt. Um, but then that brings the conversation to like, there's other MVP candidates. There's Wemby, of course. There's Shea. There's Jokic. You know, Luca, Jalen Brown. Um, I mean, like you said, you don't think Wemby should be MVP. So who do you think should be MVP?
Not only because this is not because I am a Lakers fan, but I do think Luca should be MVP. Um, Games played. So Wemby actually does have out of the top three, or I guess the top four, I should say. Wemby actually has the least amount of games played. It's not that crazy of a huge like margin. He is at 58 though, rather than SGA and Luca being at 62.
Right.
But my whole thing with Luca being MVP is he's leading the NBA in scoring. He's been on a tear. Like he's been on a tear, and the Lakers having multiple different win streaks um within our last like 20 games, different win streaks. I just think I think it's absurd and I think it's disrespectful to at least not have him at least in the top three. And some people don't. Some people have Luca at four. Like
Well,
this is
on
like
NBA.com, Luca was actually fourth. He actually dropped. You
dropped.
know,
He
which is
dropped 60 points
crazy.
and dropped.
Which is so crazy to me. But we are talking about Luca. We are going to talk about the Lakers, so we can go ahead and transition to that. You being a Lakers fan, which for everyone that's watching, I think it's very, you know, critical for us to establish this. He is a Lakers fan. I'm a Rockets fan. For most of our lives, this has not mattered that much. You know, I mean, his Lakers have won some championships. My team has not. Right. Um. Also, I mean, I don't know if you claim the Shaq and Kobe ones. I'm not giving you them. Just look, we were the same age, gang. I wasn't watching. I know damn sure you wasn't. Um. But they won some championships, and the Lakers. And the conversation we've been having for years at this point is the Lakers have this. They feel a way about themselves differently than any other team in the league. Like if the Lakers are a 7, they think they're a 9. Like no, 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 no. But y'all end up talking y'all way down to end up being a 6 or a 5. But I will say, I do think you guys are looking pretty decent.
We're a contender. We're a contender.
Um,
I mean,
okay, and
flat out,
let's
we're a
start.
contender.
Let's start there. So contenders in the Western Conference for sure. We'll just keep it with the West right now. That's the road we saying is ahead of us. We can't
Oh
think
yeah,
too
oh yeah.
far. Can't think too far. Um, right now you guys are the third seed, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, you guys are pretty much locked at the third seed.
They're pretty much locked. I mean, it, we're 2 games ahead of 4 or 5, but as long as
But
nothing
your guys
drastic,
are a game and a half above Denver.
yeah, and as long as nothing drastic happens, I mean, we're locked into that 3 seed. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's the Spurs are 8 games above y'all. Yeah, not
yeah,
there's not that's not happening. And then you guys are at 3. You guys are a game and a half above Denver, 2.5 games above Minnesota, and then 3.5. God damn, 3.5 games
with tiebreakers as well. And we
with the
we we own,
tiebreakers.
we own tiebreakers on everybody, Denver, Minnesota, and Houston. So yeah,
And
we are
yeah,
basically locked into that 3 seed. Um, that's what I'm saying. Unless the unforeseen happens and we just lose too many games, but that's yeah, we're really really locked into that 3 seed. So yeah, I'm
so
good, man.
with you guys being contenders, you guys are gonna have to play if you guys, especially you guys being at 3 seed, assuming the top 4 seeds stay the same, and it's OKC, San Antonio, Denver, or y'all in Denver, and assuming all 4 teams win in the first round, that means you guys will have to go against a team like San Antonio in the second round.
Hmm.
Um, how do you feel you guys fare not just against San Antonio, but all the other contenders in the Western Conference?
So and that's one of my points that I have. And one of the things that I think is going to actually be that change and that shift. I actually do. So my top four is, and this is in order. I have San Antonio grabbing the 1 seed, as I mentioned before. OKC as the 2 seed, so we would meet them earlier. And then us at 3, and then I have Denver at 4. Um, and so I it is I feel good, but OKC is the way I view it is I don't want to have to see Wemby until I have to like I don't want to have to deal with Wemby until I have to deal with Wemby. That's the way that I see it. Um, I'm not really worried about the entire team of San Antonio because there's no experience there, and that will come into play in the playoffs. In a really good playoff series, that experience factor, especially with us having LeBron and Luka Doncic, who just a couple years back took his team to the finals, that experience factor will come into play with San Antonio just being way too young. OKC is going to be difficult. It's going to be a horrible series for us. I do think we can win the series though, because and I understand the biggest thing is the referees will change in the playoffs. The calls will change in the playoffs.
That's a series where I don't. Whoever loses that series is going to complain about the refs,
Right,
right?
right.
Even though whoever wins that series is going to be thinking that the refs were on their side because and honestly, I think considering the players you guys have and OKC, just the way they play, you guys have the advantage of they foul, even though they don't call it a lot. They foul, and you guys have guys that get to the free throw line against
Mm-hmm.
anybody. So
Yep.
it's gonna be up to y'all, honestly, if that fouling that OKC is gonna inevitably do, because they do it, they just don't get it called. How are you guys gonna respond to that? And my next question I want to ask is the difference between this team this year, at least at the most, like one of the biggest things, the biggest X factor for y'all, I think, is DeAndre Ayton. And DeAndre Ayton, he's not Shaquille O'Neal, he's not Wilt Chamberlain, he's
Mm.
not, you know, he's not Steven Adams. You know what I'm saying? He kind of shit. Well, I was gonna say he wasn't Clint Capella. He might be a little better than Clint Capella now. Now I will say that. But how do you feel about DeAndre Ayton heading into the playoffs? He's been playing a little better lately, at least from what
Yeah.
I've seen. The two Rockets games were very eye opening for me. I was like, yeah, this nigga soft. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I, I,
um,
man, he locked in. Like we talked about it before when he put that that statement out saying I had to look myself in the mirror and really just tell myself like you're not that guy. Like, and that's what it is. That's what it is. He locked in. That's why I feel so confident about this team because JJ Redick has guys locked in. And these are, you know what I'm saying, these are grown men making millions of dollars. And these guys have bought in and locked in. Like there's just been a complete shift in the team, in the mindset of the team. And that is hard to do with, like I said, with these guys making millions of dollars. So
absolutely.
like with that complete mindset shift of the team, I I feel utterly confident. And for me, it's not even really DeAndre Ayton. Um, it's more so just the team as a whole locking into the defensive shift that JJ has put in place. Because I'm not saying we're the number one defense in the league, no, but our win streak was we were able to have that win streak because of the defensive shift, which is just a bunch of random different defenses that JJ has been throwing at different players and stuff. As you know, with your team when we played Houston, the double teams, you saw Kevin Durant in the two games back to back we played Houston. In the first game, I believe he scored 20 in the first half, nothing in the second half. In the second game, he scored nothing in the first half, 20 something in the second half, right? So we threw the same defensive game plan that worked. Yes, it's Kevin Durant. He is a great player. He is arguably the greatest scorer of all time. So yes, he had 20. But he went an entire half without scoring or only scoring like 2 points. So the defensive game plan it works even against great scores, and it's different. It's not like a one catch all. Like it's not like the Pistons where the Pistons are they're manning you up full court the entire game. Like they're just playing good hardcore defense. Like no, ours is different. We zone, we man. It's different. We trap. It's different stuff every single game against different teams, and so that's why I'm excited about the playoffs. I'm not excited about facing OKC because this is going to be a tough series for us. But every other team, I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Yeah, currently you guys based per data baller, in the last 30 days you guys are 10th in defense,
Yeah,
which
we
I don't
our offense
over
too good. We don't need to be number one in defense. Our offense is so good. We don't need to be number one. We just can't be 24th, 23rd.
yeah, over the last over the full season you guys are still ranked at 20.
Mm-hmm.
Or let me make sure I'm yeah, you
I
guys
think
are 20th in defense, but then the last 30 days you guys have been top 10. Uh Let me actually look. What's you guys' offensive rating in the last? You guys are seventh offensively in or full season actually, and in the last 30 days, you guys are fourth
yeah. I was
offensively.
gonna say,
So you guys are playing some decent ball, right? Um, how has JJ Redick changed? From this season to last season, because last season being his first season, you know, new coach, the Lakers, it's a lot going on. Mid season, he gets Luca just Paul dropping his lap. Just, what I'm saying? Just like how do you go from your first season, like you never coached. He was
Mhm.
really doing what we're doing, podcasting, right? We just talking.
Yeah.
Um, and then he's coaching LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Anthony Davis. And then 4 months later, he's coaching LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does something like that happen? Like, what has he changed? What change have you seen? Especially you being a coach,
Yep.
right? I want the audience to know McCaven coaches, right? And he
Yep.
referees. So, you know, what have you seen that JJ Redick has done to improve this team from last year to this year?
Yeah. Thank you for that. I know the game very, very well. Played, coach, and ref. I would say the biggest change that I've seen, and you even see it in the from the podcast. You go back and watch the Mind the Game podcast. JJ Redick is clearly an X's and O's guy. And
Even way before Mind the Game, the JJ Redick podcast, he was always talking like actual hoop,
right,
not no BS. Like what we're doing, talking actual hoop. That was what JJ Redick did. So maybe, hey,
exactly.
in 2 years we might be coaching Lakers. I don't know. No.
Nah, man, he was. You could see X's and O's, and you could see on court, like even this year, still out of timeouts, out of plays, out of the half, out of timeouts, just our set plays, our scheme schematically. You'll see plays where it's like, man, like dang, that was a great play draw. Like that's who JJ Redick is. In the year one, like he already had that, and that's what he was focusing on year one. What he didn't have is what he actually gained this year, and you see it is the ability to have to make guys lock in, and that's what Phil Jackson was able to do, and that's what Pat Riley was able to do. These great coaches, Pop, right? These great coaches are they figure out a way to make these guys really lock in and buy in to what's going on in that organization and what that coach wants to do. And it's different. Like I said, it's for me coaching freshmen, I can easily get guys to lock in, right? Those freshmen aren't making millions of dollars. It's a totally different thing. Those freshmen, no NIL or anything like that, versus you have LeBron James on your team who is a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. LeBron
and
don't need this.
obviously LeBron is committed differently to the game, but you have guys who are not as committed to the game as LeBron and have 20, $30 million. And, with that kind of money, sometimes they think they can do anything. So
Right.
that to me is the biggest difference from year one to year two.
Man, you guys have about 8 or 9 games left in the season. You guys have already won 48 games. Last year, you guys won 50 games. Definitely has been a big change. And I think having Luca for not only just a full year, but him being more locked in
Yeah.
and less injury prone. Last season, he, had an injury that kept him out for a while. He got hurt Christmas, didn't play for y'all till like early March, late February.
Mm-hmm.
So just having that, and then him also playing at this level, I don't think he's playing as good as he was, in 2024 when he took the Mavericks to the finals. But this is a version of Luca that on any given night, I mean, shoot, since January 1st, honestly, since the turn of the year when Jokic was hurt and Shea was hurt and Wemby definitely was hooping, but just Luca was playing at arguably the best player in the world level.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and me personally, just I've watched a lot of basketball. I'm not going to sit here and say I watched all 82 games of every team this year. Don't ask me about anything about a certain team like Brooklyn. I ain't watched a single second. I'm sorry. But something I noticed a lot with these contenders, at least the top four in the West, even if you put five with Minnesota, all those teams have a shot creator and playmaker. You guys actually have three of them,
Mm-hmm.
and two of them being you got probably the best combination of scoring and passing ever. Number one all time in points, number five all time in assists, and LeBron. Then you have Luca, who by the end of his career, who knows where the numbers are going to look, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be up there as well, right? And Austin Reeves having a great year. Um, what do you got? What do you think? You guys need to do because early in the year, I'm not gonna lie, it didn't look great. It didn't look great. The three of them, it didn't seem like it was that much synergy. It looked like whenever LeBron wasn't on the court, Luka and AR play better. But then you bring Braun on the court and it just Braun needs the ball, yada yada yada. How has how have those three players, played together and has the change been from this season to last season?
Um, one more time together. Secondly, a whole entirely different version of Luca. Like the fat Luca that we had year one is not this Luca that we have now, this year. Um, but I would say the biggest shift has been LeBron. Like LeBron accepting almost like a well, not almost like it's a new role. It's a new role.
They get ready to call him the third option.
And that's what he is, and that's what he is. And at this point in his career, even going to another team, like with there's always all this speculation about where LeBron is going in the offseason and all that. We're not going to do any of that here or anything like that. But all this speculation, regardless of where he goes, whether he stays, if he chooses to continue playing basketball next season, his career from here on out will be exactly what he's doing. I do not believe unless he goes to Brooklyn, he goes to Brooklyn, he can average 40 a night, right? Or let me just say 30. I do believe LeBron can still average 30 a night if he goes to Brooklyn, but he has to be on a team like that. If he goes to a contending team, LeBron James will be fulfilling a role similar to what he is doing, which is whatever the team needs, filling in that third option kind of wing role where you need me to grab rebounds tonight, I got you. You need me to kind of help with assist, I got you. You need me to score 30, I think, like he did one time on your team, the Rockets, and only missed like one shot, which really technically should have been a turnover. Like,
Yeah,
I got
he
you.
got fouled on that. He got fouled on that. I'm be honest.
He definitely got fouled on that, but they
I'm
could have
looking
really helped him out.
over the last 8 games. 'Cause he missed a few games. And then he came back against Chicago for you guys.
Hmm.
In that stretch, about 8 game stretch, he's averaging 18 points, 6 rebounds, 7.6 assists. Um, I don't have his advanced stats. I'm not going to do that. But 56% from the field. He's playing like the ultimate role player. And the thing, especially that Lakers versus Houston game, um, the second one where he was 13 for 14. I
Hmm.
think that was the game that made me realize you guys were contenders because seeing LeBron play off, but mind you, Luca had 40 that game.
Right.
But I was more impressed with LeBron than Luca. And I'm not sure if that's because LeBron's in year 23, 41 years old, and he missed one shot. I mean, he dunked the ball 6 times against the Rockets. I don't think, he had a game this year before then where he dunked 4 times, right? I may be wrong, but I don't like, and I've watched a decent amount of Lakers games because they're the last game on a lot of the time. And I'm just like, I've never seen LeBron like this look like 2018.
Yeah, funny thing about that day, in that game where he had 6 dunks, he actually had on the exact same day years ago. I forgot who the opponent was, but
Yeah, I've
exact
seen
same
that.
day he had 6 dunks as well on that exact same day years
And
ago.
it was like 10 years apart or 12 years,
Yeah,
something crazy.
it's crazy, but yeah, that's what makes us scary. That's what makes us scary for sure. Is the new role that LeBron has accepted. I will note one thing that I am scared of with my team heading into the playoffs. We are one injury away from a sweep,
Yeah.
and it is not LeBron, and it is not Luca, and it is not Austin Reeves, nor is it DeAndre Ayton. We are a Marcus Smart injury
Boy, hey, I was gonna
away.
say
If Marcus
Marcus
Smart tweaks
Smart.
his ankle, he does something. Man, if Marcus Smart goes down, we are out of the playoffs, and I mean, quick in a hurry, quick in a hurry. We have like, man, I think right now. I mean, right now it's still regular season, so JJ's still putting in those the bum guys on the on the bench, like,
Yeah. Jack
but
LaRavia. You can say it.
Jake LaRavia, yeah, like
Bronny. You can say nah.
Bronny, yeah, Bronny's getting some playing time still. Man, if Marcus Smart goes out, I mean, like we do still have Vando, but
Mm,
Vando's not providing offensively what Marcus Smart does. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
fulfilling
Hey,
his
I mean,
role. So
I don't even think in any of the matchups you guys could possibly see that like Vando could, come in and really be that viable because of how bad he is offensively. Because no matter how smart LeBron, Luca, Austin Reeves, or even JJ Redick are, trying to make offense for someone like a Vando is difficult. But someone like a Marcus Smart, who one has ton of experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ton of experience. Never actually won the thing, but went to the final with the Celtics, multiple conference finals year after year. Being a heart and soul of a team, a defensive player of the year. A lot of people forget that. I almost forgot it. He him. I think if you guys play an OKC series, he might be one of, if not the second most important. I think Luka's going to be most important, but then Marcus Smart might be second, just because he's going to bring the physicality for y'all
Yep.
to OKC, because you don't DeAndre Ayton's not going to bring it. He's not going to be the one to do it. Luka plays a physical game, but Luka also does what we have. Like, hey, rep, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Austin, offensively, Austin will barrel into people, try to get that foul call. And LeBron, as much as he does go downhill, he's old. So, but Marcus Smart can be the tone setter. He can hip check Lou Dort, be like, hey, this ain't finna be that. You're gonna have to, if you wanna, what I'm saying, fight or do all this pushing stuff, push
Mm-hmm.
me, but I'm gonna push you first to let you know I'm bringing it, right?
Yep.
Back to the point about LeBron in the Lakers, in that Lakers Houston game, we can start transitioning to Houston as well. What
Mm-hmm.
I was seeing with LeBron is that him being a third option. Hey son. Oh, hey everybody, look, got my son here. You
What's up,
know,
Avery?
go play. LeBron being the third option and I probably being the smartest person on the court is honestly super scary. I mean, LeBron honestly do got a little bit of a jumper now too. So the fact that LeBron can operate on almost any part of the court,
Yep.
even at this advanced age, and with his IQ, he's seen literally everything. There's nothing that has ever been seen that LeBron has not seen. I think I seen something the other day that he's played against like 23% of all NBA players ever, right?
Well, I think it's 28. I think it's like
It might
28.
it,
It's almost 30. It's almost
right.
30.
I mean, shoot, he adds another year. If he come back next year, it's gonna jump up a lot too. Um, but then just being able to be like on one side of the court, as soon as the defense rotates, he already knows who's gonna be over there, because he's been facilitating all his saying life,
Mm-hmm.
right, from high school up until this point in the NBA, to where it's like, man, there's nothing that nobody else can do here. I guess Avery's part of the show. We got 3-man show. We got 3-man show. And he was just, tearing apart the Rockets, getting to the cup every time. No one could guard him. Even with the athletes we have, he's looking like probably one of the best athletes on the court. And the fact that the Rockets being like Christmas when we played you guys, we beat you guys because you guys are nowhere near as athletic as we are. And last week when we played you guys back to back game, that athleticism didn't matter anymore because the IQ was more important, right? And Kevin Durant, funny enough, said it best: "Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard." And he is the only talented player on the Rockets. So we can get into the Rockets. Man, I got some notes here. Good lord.
So
Um,
overall, how are you feeling about your Rockets?
so last night we played against Memphis, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I was full on watching that game, but it was actually a decent win, right? I was looking up. There's a few times I clapped. Goon got a poster. I was like, okay, right? But then I had to remind myself about what happened to Minnesota just a few nights before, right? Did you watch that game? Did you see any of that?
No, but I saw and heard that it was epic. It was an epic loss. I
So,
have
and I don't have the exact numbers on how crazy it was, but you happened. You was asleep. You didn't watch the game. Um, so we were that, or at one point we were up like 7 or 8 points, lost that lead, ended up going down about 7 or 8 points, and then it ended up forcing the game into overtime. Shingun started playing some defense I ain't never seen him play before. He had like 4 or 5 blocks. He was in the fourth quarter. He was actually hooping, right? We get to
mhm.
overtime. We start overtime on a 13-0 run. right?
Yeah, that's what it was.
I'm laying in bed watching the game. You know, wifey right next to me. I'm over here trying to be fake excited. I'm like, you know what? Hey, right? And then Minnesota scored, and I was like, whatever, 13-2 run. Cool. Then it turned to 13-4, 13-6, like 13-9. I'm like, wait a minute. It got to the point, Minnesota scored 15 unanswered.
Mm.
And I don't know how many times this has ever happened to your team. I'm sure it has. Have you ever seen your have you ever seen after a game your team played a stat saying this is the first time something like this has ever happened in 40 years?
My microphone got some feedback.
Wait, what's that noise? What the hell? Oh, we gonna have to get down, gang. Hold on. We can pause recording and see what the hell is going on. All right, back recording. All right. I don't know if this has ever happened for you. You know, I feel like I've seen it happen a bunch of times where after a game, I just watch my team have a devastating loss. Wait, let's do it again. What the hell? All right. What was I saying? Okay. Now, I don't know if this ever happened for you, but you ever watch your team have like one of them like crazy losses? One loss, you just sit there and be like, wow, I can't believe we lost that. And he'd be like, you know what? It's just one game. And then ESPN and whoever posts, oh, this is the first time a game like this has ever happened in 45 years. Yeah, that Rockets loss. Largest overtime comeback for the Timberwolves in a game by NBA team since they started tracking it in, 1997,
Yeah,
right? So almost 30 years. No team has ever folded like that.
yeah.
And
Teams were like what 181 and 0 or
I didn't even want
183.
to see the I didn't even want to see the number. I didn't even want to see the number. I just know it's something I've never seen before. I'm just like, there's no way we just lost it. Kevin Durant missed the free throw, but I'm not about to talk bad about Kevin Durant because I'm actually about to give Kevin Durant his praises. Right? He's the only reason this team is not down there with the Clippers or the
Suns.
Blazers or the Suns is right behind us. The
Oh,
Suns is
true,
right
true,
behind us,
true, true, true.
right? And you would think you would think the best player in the trade will come to the new team that was better than the team last year, and the gap between the Rockets and the Suns would be like this. They're right below us. They're seven. Now they're 2 games behind us, right? At this point, I don't think they're going to pass us.
Yeah,
I know we still have a chance to get four. Three's out of the question. We still got a chance to be four. Um,
gotta be
but
five.
we got Kevin Durant, gave up Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, and this is the result we have, right? It the give and take, right? Because so the Houston Rockets traded for Kevin Durant, and though I'm a huge Kevin Durant fan, really excited for it. Now seeing it in hindsight, I hate the trade. I didn't like the trade at the moment, but I hate the trade, right? We gave up. So last year, the problem with the Rockets when we lost the Warriors in the playoffs was, well, just the Rockets in general last year. We could blow teams out. We would get blown out. Or no, we wouldn't get blown out. We could blow teams out. We won't get blown out. But those close games, we lost every time. We just don't have anybody that can, you know, get efficient offense when efficient offense is the most important. A lot of people with the advanced stats, of course, like to be like, oh, over this many possessions. I mean, I got some stats, right? I got some stats. I use them, I use true shooting a little bit, just a little bit. Um, but then it's like true shooting and effective field goal percent, none of that matters in the last 2 minutes of the game. Are you gonna make a shot or not?
Yeah,
Right? When the game is tied, you make a shot, y'all go up. If y'all down one, you miss a shot, y'all still down one. It don't matter how efficient you are on average, everything like that. None of that matters, right? And Jalen Green was the person we looked to be a shot career last year, and clearly he just wasn't good enough to do that. Still not good enough to do that now. So then we end up trading him to get Kevin Durant, who in theory, him being a much better player, much better scorer in general, oh, he can shot create no problem. What I'm saying? 'Cause we just gotta take Jalen Green out and put, KD in. But doing a swap like that, we have the same problem. We just have
Yeah.
someone better at executing it. But because we have someone better at executing it, everyone knows that if he if we just stop him from scoring, you know, which brings to one of my first points. With the Lakers, like I said, you guys weren't the first team to do it, but that game, it was on ESPN. Everyone's watching. I don't think it was that many other games on that day
Mm-hmm.
in general. So everyone's watching the game. You got Mike Breen on the call. And like you said, Kevin Durant, first half, didn't do a damn thing. Right? And it's because as soon as the game starts, which for the most part, all season, teams wait until the fourth quarter. You seen it in the first game of the season against OKC. First game of the season against OKC. They waited till the last few minutes of the game to start double teaming Kevin Durant. Now, the first game of the season, I was still like, you know what? We'll figure this out. Season's almost over. We ain't figured it out. And honestly, it's gotten worse. Right? All you gotta do as soon as Kevin Durant touches the ball, 10-2. Because who's he gonna pass it to? Right?
That's
Um, and it's so crazy because the Rockets are, by a lot of people, disappointing this year. Right? A lot of people expected us to. We won 52 games last year without Kevin Durant. They're like, oh, you add Kevin Durant, you gotta win. You know, you gotta be a contender, right? And people are then putting all the blame on Kevin Durant, which Kevin Durant this year, 26 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, 4.6 assists, 63% true shooting, which is statistically just that shooting split, true shooting is the seventh best of his career. So he's still playing like Kevin Durant, just past Michael Jordan in scoring. He's still Kevin Durant, right? We know
yeah.
who he is. The problem is, like I said, with the double teams, Kevin Durant also is not, he's a great scorer. He's not a passer, right? He's not an initiator. He can create his own shot. He'll dribble, you know what I'm saying, to get to his spots, and everything like that. But as far as actually like rating for others and, attacking double teams and, knowing what to do when he's getting blitzed, yeah, he's not doing that. Um, and then the biggest issue with that is we don't have a point guard this season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like a week before the season started, like a week before training camp or something like that. Fred VanVleet got hurt towards ACL, and now um we just haven't filled that role. Which Ime Udoka and Raphael Stone, the GM, basically said, "Hey, we're gonna do point guard by committee." Right? They were like, "We got Reed Shepard, we got uh Amin Thompson. Shengun's a good passer and dribbler for a big man. Kevin Durant can dribble, right?" They're like, "Oh, just yeah, we don't need no point guard." Which is so crazy how they would say that after just seeing what Kevin Durant was dealing with in Phoenix the year before without a point guard. But you know, and the thing that makes me so mad about it is that at the trade deadline, right? So many guards got moved. Are they, what I'm saying, John Stockton or Chris Paul, what I'm saying, as far as dishing the ball out? No. But like I said with the Lakers earlier and all the teams above the Rockets, just in general in contention, right? You need passing and playmaking. You need someone who can create a shot off the dribble. You gotta have someone that can keep the defense on their heels because the defense know, oh, you're not about to do nothing out there. They're just standing inside 3-point line, just waiting for you to drop. You're gonna drop right into two of them, and then boom. Now what are you gonna do? Pass to someone who can't shoot? With and a lot of no one on the Rockets can pass for real. Sengun can pass for a center, but you know,
so so overall, who do you place the blame on? Like, who do you blame for this Rocket? For how? Granted, I understand. I mean, well, you guys are definitely making the playoffs, right? But
right.
obviously, making the playoffs is not the end all be all. I've been there. Saying with my Lakers, and making the playoffs is not the end all be all. So, who do you blame for this Rockets poor season?
Well, if I was to make like a blame pie, right? Give everybody a percentage. Ime Udoka might be like 25% of that. Raphael
Mm-hmm.
Stone might be 35% of that. And then I got like 50 or 45% left. Split that between Tari 36% from three, which that don't It's so crazy. Tari started the season off shooting good. He can't throw a rock in the ocean. Jabari Smith Jr. Man, these fans are gonna know I do not like Jabari Smith Jr. Never had, never will. Operation Shingun. First game of the season. 6 threes. Hooping. 27% from three. Dorian Finney-Smith. I thought we stole him from y'all, man. I was like, man, we got Dorian Finney-Smith. We finna be solid. 26% from three. Ben Thompson. Boy, hey, NBA.com, NBA on social media, they love to say, hey, Amen Thompson, he's the next best thing. 22% from three.
I heard. I think Tari Eason is working with Lethal Shooter, so he might have
His
a
mama,
better.
his mama had to call Lethal Shooter. Like, hey, help, help me, please.
I don't know if she's like if she's his agent or if she saying how
Now she
involved,
just
but
really tapped in with the Rockets, but
okay, I was about to say because I was about
it's
to say
just
that's alarming if she wasn't like super tapped in and she's the one making the call, like that's alarming.
yeah. But even just in general, just the fact of like you got to be able to hit a shot.
Yeah.
You have to be able to hit a shot because the second the defense and look, I wasn't the best hooper, right? Even people at any hoop session didn't leave me that open,
Yeah.
right? Like you have to have the idea of he can make that shot.
Mm-hmm.
But when you admit he went, it was a stretch. I think he went over 19 over the course of like 3 games. You
Nice.
think I'm about to think? I don't think I'm about to make this 20th one. And even if you do make the 20th one, make number 21. I dare you, please, right?
Right. Like yeah.
And
That's insane, man. I definitely get your point of the playmaking standpoint, just because it is a situation like you said. You basically just swapped us. You swapped Jalen Green to score. Telling Jalen Green to go get a bucket for somebody who can and who's better at it, go and get a bucket with Kevin Durant. But you didn't provide him with any backup, any help. And then, like you
at
said,
all.
with the close game situations, with a flip flop with my team with the Lakers is late game situation. We can roll the ball to Luca, he'll go get us a bucket. We can roll the ball to AR, he'll go get us a bucket. We can roll the ball to LeBron, he can go get us a bucket. Like we have three different viable options to go and get us a bucket in the clutch in these close games, which is one of my things that I actually had jotted down here in late game stats. We are the best in the NBA at late game clutch situations. On NBA on NBA.com, they had us at 22-7. So I don't know right now exactly what they're considering close games, depending on what you
I'm pretty
consider.
sure it's like a 5 point game in the last like 5 minutes, something like that.
Okay, okay,
Something
okay.
like
Then yeah, so we're at 22-7, best in the NBA and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things, and this may come more in handy. I should have checked and should have looked for Houston's. I didn't, but in those clutch games, our turnovers. I'm assuming this is late in the games as well, not for the entire game, but
people were saying, "Oh, we're one of the top 5 like young cores in the league," and like all we did was add Kevin Durant, and we traded Jalen Green, who a lot of people don't like anyway. So it's just like no one's calling us that anymore because a lot of the guys just haven't got better. Jabari Smith Jr. has been the same player since he left Auburn, right? Amen Thompson, who I really do like Amen. And I've been hearing people say, "Oh, if the Rockets going to trade for somebody, he should be one of the people." Which the other teams in the league would want him in, right? Of all the people, but it's like he has to find an identity as a player, like because when he got drafted, people were saying he was a point guard, but he played point guard at overtime elite. So like he wasn't playing against nobody. His
yeah,
brother actually won MVP. But it's just like he's not a point guard. Um, I just don't know, like Reese Shepard, right? Who would be someone who can dribble and pass and play, make or whatever. He makes one mistake, Ime Udoka takes him out. But then Tari and Bari, they can stay in and do bullshit. I've seen Tari miss 3 layups and airball a three. He stay in. I mean, Reese Shepard get taken out, right? But I will say, Reed does Reed need confidence. If and part of getting confidence, and you could attest this as a coach, you have to let your players play. You have to
Yeah.
let them play through their mistakes. He turned the ball over. He got to, learn from that as a basketball player. It's not like he didn't have any good coaching before. He was under Calipari, I'm pretty sure, right, at Kentucky. So it's like,
Mm,
and in Kentucky, he was a shooter. He shot the ball. He shot 50% from three in college. He's a good shooter now, right? I mean, that's the best thing he does for us. He the only person that will shoot. Kevin Durant won't even shoot some of the shots Reed Shepard shoots, right? But Reed also sometimes won't shoot the shots that Reed Shepard should shoot.
yeah.
Someone as good of a shooter as he is. Let me pull it up. Let me see. What is Reed Shepard shooting from three? I read everybody else is bad shooting. I didn't talk about Reed. He's actually good shooting. Let me see. What is Reed Shepard shooting from three? It's just like it's insane because in Ime Udoka, I think I feel like Ime Udoka. I really did. Before he got to the team, before he cheated on Neil Long, I actually like you know, Ime Udoka because he brought to the team this toughness that we didn't have. You know what I mean? Like he's a hard nosed coach. He called LeBron a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like what coach is doing that, right? For his players. Reed Shepard, he's shooting 7 threes a game, 38% from three,
That's real. That's good.
which ain't bad, but it's like shoot more. I don't know, like shoot more.
Yeah.
At this point, you know what I'm saying? He's only making like 2.7 a game. Like shoot more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cause we need shooting, especially with no Fred Vliet. And then we also lost our superpower of offensive rebounding because Steven Adams is hurt,
Hmm.
right? And so then that puts the Rockets at a point where, we need to try to make advantages in some way because our biggest advantage is gone. And then our second best advantage is Kevin Durant. But teams are just like, we're just gonna take that away at the fourth quarter. Now what do y'all got? And because we can't go back to even when they were double teaming Kevin Durant early in the season, at least we'll get the offense rebounds, right? So
Yeah.
someone else could put a shot up. Again, that made our offense be, good like it was. But then now our defense is falling off because we shoot a shot, it brick, the other team's going the other way. That's how LeBron dunked the ball so many goddamn time because we missed the shot. He's going to the other side. He's dunking the ball, right? And we just don't, have any like what kind of offense are we running? I understand we don't have a point guard, but Ime Udoka, who I have him, he's like I said, he's 25% of the blame. Doesn't adjust, like I said, that there's no way a team goes in 15-0 running overtime. But what are you doing? You just sitting there as a coach. Would you how many points did the other team had to score for you to call timeout?
Man, if we score that if we go on that run and then there
You
comes
just went
back
on a 13-0 run.
six, probably around six, or probably around 6 or 7 points, I'll probably have to call a timeout. Like, hey.
Man, and I'm not saying. And look, he called a timeout. He might have called two or three in that run, right? But then it's
Mhm.
like you call a timeout just to give up points again. What what
Yeah.
what did you do? What did y'all say in the huddle? I'm not in the huddle. I don't know what he said. But I know what happened. They didn't execute. And that's part of the biggest issue is I used to be a real big advocate for Ime Udoka, especially his coaching, because there was many games that the Rockets lost. I remember do you remember that game when we was at your house watching the Rockets play against Orlando? And he
Hmm.
drew up a beautiful play. Absolute beautiful play. Someone was out wide open. I don't know who, but you remember someone was
Yeah.
wide open.
Somebody, yeah, I can't remember who either, but somebody was wide open. It
But then
wasn't.
the person that was wide open didn't even get the ball. Right? He's drawing up plays, that are good plays, but he's putting the wrong people in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Um, and then like I said, the least she has on someone like a Reed Shepard, but not for Tari and Jabari or DFS or Chingun,
Well,
right?
he's more of a defensive minded coach, so
Yeah,
he's
Reed
gonna
Shepard is a
lean.
cone. Reed
Yeah,
Shepard
he's
is a
gonna
cone,
lean into that.
but Reed Shepard at least puts effort in. Like it's honestly, and to speak on like someone like Luca, Luca is a bad defender, but Luca, if he just sometimes contests put your hand out there, you'll tip the ball, even if you're not actually about to stop nobody, you're not about to lock nobody down. You're at least making the offense have to, you know, shift a little bit to where you can then put yourself back in position. That's what Reed Shepard can do. But
Mhm.
then when you put him out on the island, he
Yeah,
gonna down that island. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But I don't know. The Rockets, look, I've said it to you, but I'll say it right here on the channel. Today is March 28th.
Mhm.
From this day forward until the start of next season, I'm not rooting for the Rockets. I am a Spurs fan. So go Wemby, Stephon Castle. That's one of my favorite players. But the Rockets, this team's not contender. They're not. They haven't been contender since the start of the season. They had a few games where it looked like okay, maybe. Now at this point, we lose to all the bad. Matter of fact, that's the last thing I want to do. That's the last thing I want to do. Speaking about these Rockets, I want to bring up all the bad teams we've lost to.
And
Right?
while you're pulling that up, man, I funny enough, I actually have you guys going up one spot and grabbing the fifth seed, and I got Denver as my fourth seed. So I got you. I got the 4-5 Denver, Houston. And funny enough, I think Denver's going to beat you guys in the first round, but I think
They
it'll be an
should.
interesting. I think it'll be an interesting series. I think it'll be interesting enough where it'll give you hope again. I think
Oh,
they'll give you hope again.
I'm gonna be watching whoever the Spurs sweep. I ain't watching that shit.
The Spurs, let's see, they had well, honestly, OKC and San Antonio are they're both kind of screwed in the first round because the Clippers and Phoenix is not going to be
That's no easy battle,
cakewalks.
but
It's not going to be
but
cakewalks.
but I definitely have confidence. Like if it was OKC, or I'm sorry, if it was the Clippers or Phoenix going to get us, we might be cooked. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. I think we would beat them teams, but that's a 7 game series for no reason, right? Uh, here, look, here. This is the beginning of the season, right? First loss with the OKC, first game of the season, double OT. Cool. Detroit. Now, at the time when we lost to Detroit, I was cool with it because I was like, you know what? Well, I wouldn't say I was cool with it. I eventually became more cool with it as seeing what Detroit started becoming.
Yeah.
Third loss of the season, lost to San Antonio. We see what's going on there, right? At
Hmm.
the time with the loss, I was like, there's no way San Antonio this good. They are, right? Shout out my Spurs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out my Spurs.
Uh, we lost to Denver. Hey, it's Denver, okay? But then we then lost to Utah, which hey, Utah Utah's not no scrub team. They got 21 wins. They've won some
They're
games.
scrub.
They're
They're
scrubs, but at
scrub.
the time, Utah was kind of hooping, right? But then this is when I knew. And I don't know if you remember that. This is when I knew. In December. This is when the Rockets started to piss me off. They lost 109, 122 to the Mavericks,
Mm,
right? We had that overtime loss that we should not have lost to Denver, right? That's the game where they
mhm.
brought that overhead cam against
The
a
eagle
man
eye
Thompson.
cam, whatever it's called.
Yeah, for that
Might
dumb
just call it
foul.
the Laker cam. That's what they need to call it.
Hey, that's the only other time I've seen it. I've seen it in Lakers games and that one other time.
Yeah,
Then
Lakers games multiple.
the very next game, we lost in overtime to the Pelicans. I was like, wait a minute,
Mm.
that ain't right. Then we ended up beating the
Overtime.
Nuggets, but then we lost in overtime to the Kings. That ain't right.
Overtime.
Then we lost in regulation to the Clippers. That ain't right. But then we ended up beating y'all ass on Christmas. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm just overreacting. I wasn't, because then a few weeks later we ended up losing to the Mavericks again. Back to back losses again. This is a 3 game streak right here. 1 point loss against the Blazers, 6 point loss against the Blazers,
Mm.
and then is that a 13 point loss against the Kings? Excuse me? And another thing, just to um Russell Westbrook in this game. Good lord, what was his? What did he
Hey,
have? What did
hey,
he have?
Russ went off. And I told you, I remember that game. I told you, I said Russ. We was on the game. I said Russ always shows up against his old team because he does the same thing
Every
for us.
time,
He show
every
up. He
time.
hitting threes.
Because I remember, I feel like I sent you a voice message complaining about the Rockets after this game because Russell Westbrook hit a great number of, where is it at? 6 3, or no, he shot 6 of them, made 3 of them, 50% from three. Like what? what we doing? You know what I mean? We also lost to Philly in overtime. We lost to Charlotte. Now Charlotte's hooping. That loss ain't as bad as it seems. Lost to the Clippers. The Clippers has started to hoop. You know,
Mm-hmm.
lost to the Warriors in overtime. You're starting to see a trend.
Yeah,
Overtime, overtime, every time. And you know, at this point in the season, like we just, I honestly don't know. Like it feels like the Rockets lose more games than we do. I feel like we're like we should be down there with the Blazers or something like that, but we still are. Like we could win tomorrow, and then you know, well not, but like depending on who loses, and if we win, we could be back in the 4th seed in just a few games, right?
yeah,
Which is just it's a crazy conundrum, but I don't know. I don't want to talk about the Rockets no more for the rest of the season. I ain't going to talk about the Spurs from this episode forward. So, with that being said, we're going to wrap up here. How did you feel this episode went? I know we're going to leave a little bit of this in for the fans, but how did you feel like this went? I think it went great. I
yeah.
think this
Great
is something we
episode.
can do. We can do this, you know, constantly. I think this is something that could be a good thing going.
Yeah, definitely a great episode. It was natural. It flowed well. Uh, had some technical difficulties, but we're gonna
Yeah,
fix that going forward.
yeah, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. First episode, and for all y'all at home, I'm going to edit this up. This is going to get uploaded to YouTube. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate this. I mean, right now the recording is 58 minutes. I'll edit it down to like, 54 minutes, right? But it's like it's gonna be this is our first episode trying this. You know, we just want to we talk basketball amongst each other. I'm like, might as well just record it and put it up. See what happens, right? We're talking actual basketball here. We're talking about our teams, just in this episode. We got a bunch of different thoughts about other teams and other things along around the league. We got a bunch of different topics for you guys. Like we're gonna be putting out content all over from YouTube to all the social media sites. We're gonna be uploading to give you guys real hard truth hoops. So with that being said, we want to thank you guys for listening to Hard Truth Hoops on Unapologetic Sports Network. I'm Anthony. That's Michavan. Thank you all for listening. Have a good one.